So the Cubs lost the series to the Dodgers, which was, a little bit crestfalling, I guess, considering the previous week they had losing 3 out of 4. But, last night they kind of beat the hell out of the San Diego Padres, which I can't remember. Did I pick them to win the World Series this year? I know I did last year. Maybe I didn't this year, but I think you and I both have them winning the division or at least in the
we
playoffs.
have
So,
them both in the World Series.
okay.
I
Yeah.
think. I think
They are inexplicably struggling,
the whole
considering
division is.
yeah, considering the offense, the names on their offense are just insane, and they're all kind of scuffling. I think the cold temperatures may have had something to do with it last night at Wrigley.
Mm,
Everyone's wearing balaclavas. Looked like Juan Soto and Fernando Tatis Jr. wanted no part of that 40-degree weather. So that might play into it, but the Cubs ended up winning 6-0 on the strength of yet another strong outing by Justin Steele, who happens to hold the best ERA in Major League Baseball since last July.
He does.
With I think it's a 107 ERA from that time. And I think right now he has a 119 ERA. I missed the whip. It's like a 1.8 point, or I'm sorry, it's a 0.89.
Yeah, 8.4, 8.9, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It just kind of reminds me of, we've mentioned Justin Steele from time to time, but last year was such a ridiculous year for the Cubs and such a frustrating time for Cubs fans in general. And I had pretty much checked out by July of last season. I was watching games here and there, but it kind of reminds me, and this is gonna annoy you, but kind of reminds me of 2014. I don't know if you remember way back in 2014, where the Cubs were in a similar situation where they're very irrelevant, and a lot of people had checked out on them, certainly by the later summer months. But there was a pitcher by the name of Jake Arrieta that was catching my eye at that point. It really did start in July.
I'd send him some flowers.
he started to go on a run, started to make some waves, and had similar stats to what we're seeing now from Justin Steele. Of course, Jake Arrieta went on to win a Cy Young and a couple no hitters in the next year and a half or so. An impressive run. I'm not sure Justin Steele is necessarily. I mean, who knows where Justin Steele can go from here, but it's something that popped into my head. It seemed like a similar trajectory. And now that you see that he does have the best ERA and a minuscule ERA since July, it just kind of pointed to some similarities there that I thought I should point out. Did that annoy you?
I'm so annoyed.
Okay.
I'm annoyed right now.
I couldn't tell if you were going to just
no,
roll
I
your
mean,
eyes
it's, as we always say though, too, like when you talk about like a current team and, that reminds me of the team from whenever, like it's the right to draw comparisons, but they mean diddly squat. But hey, man, shit. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and give you any shit about him. He's pitching well, man. He looks legit. So no reason not to draw similarities to that. I mean, only time will tell.
Yeah.
And speaking of time will tell, just like real quick, I mean, do you believe in the Cubs? Because they have probably exceeded April expectations from
absolutely
what we talked about to begin the year, but are they for real?
Yeah, that's the classic question. I think a quick start was key, and it's been fun. I'm not going to complain about it. I think it is far too early to tell. I think one thing we're going to have to really pay attention to that's gonna really determine this is the bullpen is definitely showing some cracks over the last week or so. Mainly Michael Fulmer is a big problem. He gave up a grand slam in the Dodgers series this past weekend. There's a little bit of trouble with the rotation depth, as we've seen Jameson Tyone go on the IL. That may or may not be subsided by this imminent return of Kyle Hendricks, who's on a rehab assignment this week. So yeah, it's going to come down to how the pitching depth actually works out, but really the bullpen is going to be a big issue. They kind of piece things together, and typically the Cubs have been pretty good at making that work out. But I'm not ready to 100% believe yet. Is that fair? Do I need to declare today?
No,
Yes.
that's what I was asking. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
You answered the question.
I like what I'm seeing so far, but I can see some issues going forward. So
Word Hole Media.